Hey you guys, Erico here. Hope you guys are doing alright. Because currently Henry Lau, formerly of Super Junior M, who left Super Junior M and went solo, is not doing alright.
중국에서 활발한 활동을 보였던 헨리가 최근 돌연 한국에 돌아온 점을 두고 일부 네티즌들은 중국 현지의 상황이 영향을 끼쳤다고 지적하는 상황입니다. 앞서 헨리는 지난 15일 서울 마포경찰서의 학폭 예방 홍보대사로 위촉됐다는 소식이 전해지며 국내 네티즌들의 비난을 받았는데요. 이후 헨리는 지난 19일 본인의 인스타그램에 직접 사과문을 게재했지만 논란은 더욱 커졌습니다. 해당 사과문에 죄송하다는 틀린 맞춤법과 이외에도 다수 틀린 맞춤법이 발견되며
Now in the past, Henry has been in scandals, and he's tried to make right by apologizing. However, it always seems like these apologies go wrong, the apologies disappear, or fans just continue to be angry. So he became the ambassador of anti-bullying, and the Korean cops, they awarded this to him. I don't know where this came from. I don't know if just because he has a good personality and he's a celebrity. So, you know, he was up there with the sign, stop sign, and he was smiling. He's a handsome guy. All good, right? No. Apparently with this high climate of China and South Korea's love-hate relationship and people being whirlwind into this, there were some fans that were like, why he get to be the ambassador? He not even Korean. It's like, oh God, here we go again. It's like, why him? So, you know, it was this big debate on social media where people were going back and forth. You know, there were some fans that were like, we're happy for you. There were others that were like, really now? So it got so bad that they actually started going on the police website. The police website crashed. There was so many hate comments. Henry had to eventually come out with an apology. I wouldn't have. but he did. And you know, there are Korean people, especially online, the netizens that will nitpick and that will dig. When they don't like you, they don't like you. You can't sit with them. You can't breathe the same air as them. And they nitpicked his apology. They found misspellings. They said that was disrespectful. At least it showed that he did it himself. He didn't get a publicist to do it. And he actually cares. But they were still angry. They went back and they looked into posts that he did years and years ago saying, well, he was pro-China. Because there is this conflict right now with China and them banning most things that are Korean and boys that are feminine and just Korean media. And then there was the Olympics as well, where there was another mega super K-pop star, RM, that was also blown into the whirlwind and Chinese people attacking him for supporting the Korea skating team. So we have multiple cases too, where there are Korean people just attacking Chinese members of K-pop groups, saying that they're disrespecting Korean culture, saying that they're not allowed to sing Chinese songs on Korean TV, saying that they are supposed to bow the Korean way during New Year. There's a fight of the origin of Korean culture, the hanbok, and other things, and where that actually came from. There are Chinese people saying that it came from China. There are Korean people that are mad that are saying that no, that is ours. But the bottom line is with this issue is that they took influences from each other. As someone from the outside looking in, Korea took influences from China, China took influences from Korea, Japan took influences from Korea, vice versa. All of them have taken influences from each other. And how the influences definitely went back and forth. I have no dog to pick in this fight at all. But Henry is still going through it, and he's saying, you know, well, there's nothing I can really do. You all can hate me for being Chinese, because he is Chinese. He was born in Canada. He speaks English well. speaks Korean, he speaks Chinese. But other than that, what can I do? And of course, the people that are hating him are saying that, well, there were people that were in the comments of a YouTube video you did. You deleted all of the Korean comments and you left all of the Chinese comments supporting him and supporting China. Nobody knows if that was a publicist that did that or if it was actually him or not. I feel like it might have been him, honestly, and I feel like he might have just felt that those comments were more positive toward him as a Chinese person, and that's his right. We have the situation here where you can't judge someone based off of what everybody else from their race does. You can't judge someone just because they look like people that you don't like, because that's not that person. And I always say that I can talk about this topic as a black person and the negative stigmas that go on black people. And when someone will look at you and say, well, look at that black person doing this to X, Y, and Z, or doing this to somebody, and how do you feel about it? I feel no ways, because that's not me. You don't see Rico doing that, right? So that's not me. Well, they're black, they're making black people look bad. No, they're making themselves look bad. That's what they're doing. So Korean people, some Korean people, have this thing where they see one, then it's all of you all doing it. Henry has a right to his beliefs. Henry has a right to do what he wants to as far as him being Chinese. He is Chinese at the end of the day. Yes, he was in a Korean group, but really he was in the subgroup that was actually a Chinese group. Koreans doing Chinese and he was Chinese, so he still was always Chinese. He knows how to speak Korean. Obviously Korean is not his first language, so I expect there to be little type errors when he does his apology, if he does it himself. They should know this. I do think that was a bit much to point that out. It's like, well, let me see you all do an English apology, and I bet you we're gonna see typos. And people should accept that. Him doing it in his culture's way, or any other K-pop star that it happens to be Chinese, that is not taking away from Korean culture. Korean culture will always be. You all should celebrate and be prideful about your culture and allow them to do what they're going to do, because they are from a different culture and they just occupy the space of Korean pop music. And that's what everyone should understand. Them doing it the way that they've been taught or they know is not taking away from South Korean culture. And it's weird. I really hope that this is like 50, 60-year-olds that are commenting this on the internet, and it's not like young people, and they have not spread this to the younger generation, because they have enough to worry about, and they shouldn't care so much about this. I mean, yeah, the stuff that China does can be really messed up, but to blame these entertainers for that, don't you think that's a bit unfair? So you guys, this is a lot to think about. How do you feel about this? I mean, they need to leave people alone at this point. I mean, feel how you want to feel, but attacking somebody relentlessly, that's not the way to go. If you do not like this person, don't support them. Simple as that. Don't watch what they do, don't support them. Don't keep attacking them. Follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. I also have a blog on East Asian pop culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real, and I will always be back. Thanks for watching, you guys. Thanks for all the various opinions. I will see you in the next video.